What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This is still me, Solomon Wisdom, aka Born to Trade, and today I'm going to teach you a very profitable strategy which you can use during the London session. You know, London session is one of the most traded sessions, and this strategy I'm actually going to teach you is a very profitable strategy, and you can use it on GBP and Euro pairs, because we are talking about the London session, and GBP and Euro pairs are the most traded currency pairs. Now, trading it during the London session, which is the most traded session. So you see, this is a very profitable strategy if you can pay attention to understand how to use this strategy. Okay, now over the weeks we've been doing price analysis since this year. What I've been doing on the price charts is I break price actions down, sharing trading ideas, but today I decided to do something different. You know, last week we actually had a very good trading opportunity and trading idea. Remember last week what I shared was where we had a very good zone right here, where I said we can actually look to take a trade from this zone, and you can clearly see we had a perfect setup where price returns, retest our zone, and we had this reaction to the upside. And mind you, I actually had a higher time frame point of interest where I was actually looking to trade from. I had a zone, this is a higher time frame POI. I was looking to trade from this zone, and from what you can actually see, it was a failed setup at first. Price retest the higher time frame point of interest, a little reaction, then it continues to the upside. So this was a totally failed setup, but we had a very good opportunity here. If you took a trade from this zone, this particular zone, till this high we have right here, to this particular high we have over here, this was about 1:6 trade. You made money from this, and if you actually head to your price retested this zone, this was about 1:7.5 or thereabouts. Okay, so it was a very good one. So I hope you all took advantage of that. So if you actually took these two trades, you got maybe about 6% from here and you lost 1%, so you still have 5% in your pocket. That was a good one. So today I'm shifting, I'm going to do something different. Let me teach you a trading strategy which, if you spend your time to backtest it, you're going to master it and make money from the financial markets. My aim in this channel is to make sure that my subscribers are actually making money from the financial market, not just making money, but making money consistently in the financial market. So let me show you this. Remember I said you can trade this on GBP and Euro pairs. Okay, so let's do this. You're going to do this on Euro USD. So Euro USD, let's go to the price chart right now. So this is Euro USD right here. I think I have to zoom out a little, and this is actually the 15 minutes time frame. This is the 15 minutes time frame, so we're going to do this on the 15 minutes time frame. Now, you know, the London session, like I said, is one of the most traded session, and another thing you have to understand is that the high or the low of the day is likely to be formed during the London session, and the high of the day and the low of the day might actually be formed during the London kill zone actually. But I'm not talking about kill zone in this case, I'm talking about the London session generally. Now, a lot of people is going to ask, what time does the London session open? Now, the London open occurs from 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. okay, my time zone is actually UTC +1. okay, so this is my local time zone. So this is time for the London session. Okay, London session is between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. so this strategy, you can always get your entry between 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and you can actually hold it till after the New York session. You can hold it once you've gotten your entry between 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. so this is the time zone right here, so just have it in mind. Now, another thing you have to put into consideration is the Asian session, because you're going to be taking advantage of the Asian session. Now, when does the Asian session start? It starts from 12 a.m. till 9 a.m. You're going to check over your chart and try to identify this area. So when is 12 a.m. right here? So let's see. So this is 12 a.m. right here, and like I said, 12 a.m. is during the Asian session. Now, what you want to do is you want to mark the high and the low of the Asian session. So let me take price back to maybe somewhere this area. Now, since this is 12 a.m., we've already marked that, and we're going to mark the high and the low of the Asian session. So where is the high of the Asian session? So this is the high of the Asian session right here, and where is the low? And from now, currently this is the current low of the Asian session. So you're going to monitor price between the high and the low of the Asian session till London opens. It's also important to identify when London opens. We're going to find London open. So when is London session going to open? 8 a.m. okay, so you're going to actually find 8 a.m. so this is 8 a.m. right here, and you already know that London opens by 8 a.m. so I'm marking London open with the red color, so you're going to know when London session is going to open. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to press price forward and see how this works. So during the Asian session, we're going to try as much as we can to mark the high and the low of the Asian session. But these things I'm marking out here, you can also do this with your indicators. When you go to your trade view, you can use your indicators such as session on charts, FX market session, or market session itself. A lot of session indicators which can help you out to mark this out. So I'm just marking it because I already know how to mark it. It's actually simple if you want to do it yourself. So plain price forward. So you see the Asian session, it forms another low, so it's also important you mark the correct lows. Okay, now Asian is actually in a range, which is something we want to see. This is the Asian range. So what you're going to do is you're going to take advantage of this Asian range during the London session. Okay, and finally you see this is the London session. We entering London session. So what we did perfectly here is we marked the high and the low of the Asian session. So if you actually want to mark it or label it, is also nice. So you're going to label it as the Asian high, and this right here is actually the Asian low. Now another important thing you need to note is that liquidity rests above the Asian high and the Asian low. So once you see price builds this liquidity like this, what you're going to do is you're going to take advantage of it. What you're going to expect is you're going to expect a manipulation. Okay, you're going to expect manipulation to occur. So if price manipulates, takes the liquidity at the Asian high, then what we're going to anticipate is a reversal, because we know that the high and the low of the day is likely going to form during the London session. Now you see, when price sweeps the liquidity above the high, we're going to anticipate, okay, the high of the day is now formed, and we're going to anticipate that price is going to move to the opposite direction. Now in other sense, if price actually takes the low, if we see price move from this area to sweep the Asian low, that is manipulates below the Asian low, we're going to anticipate, okay, the low of the day has now been formed during the London session, and we're going to anticipate a possible continuation to the upside. Okay, so this is how we're going to trade this particular strategy. That's why I said you should trade this strategy during the London session. Make sure your entry is during the London session. Now when you get to your entry during London session, you can actually hold your trades till the end of New York session. It depends on you. So let's play price forward and see if we're actually going to get it. So what you're going to anticipate is a manipulation. So now we got the manipulation right here, price sweeping the Asian low. So let's see how this actually goes. Now we had a little reaction to the upside, and you see price reacting to the upside after this manipulation. Now we're getting another retracement to the downside, and now you see price drops deeper into this range. And when price dropped deeper into this range, what price was actually doing is price came back to mitigate a zone right here, because if you look, we have more like a range created demand zone right here. So after the range was formed, the low was swept, price drops, mitigates a demand zone, and what do we see now? We're seeing a reaction to the upside. Now price reacts massively to the upside. So this is how you can actually take advantage of this. You can always mark your Asian high and low. Once you see the manipulation, you enter your trade and take a trade to a different direction, to the opposite direction, because what price basically does is it sweeps the liquidity first, then moves to the opposite direction. And in this case, what you're seeing is that the low of the day was actually formed during this London session. I think this was actually London and New York overlap right here. So let's try to mark the next day. So when is the next day? This actually happened on Thursday last week, so the next day is going to be the Friday, right? Let's try to identify when is going to be the Asian open. So when is it going to be? It's actually by 12 o'clock a.m. and this is it right here. So when is going to be the London open? The London open is actually by 8 a.m. So this, the London open is always going to be labeled with red, so we don't get confused. Now playing price forward, so we see what we have. It's actually going to take time, so I think I should make this faster. So you see, this is the Asian range. Now you see price starts to range over here. That is another Asian range right now. From what you can actually see, this is actually the high of the range right here, high of the Asian range, and it's also necessary we try to label it. So this is the Asian high. I think capital letter is a little bit better. Asian high, and here we have the Asian low. So this is your high and your low. Now let's wait till price gets to the London open, and you actually see this is the London open, and immediately London opened, what do we see? Price sweeps the liquidity at the Asian low, and we see that massive manipulation to the downside. So this manipulation is actually a trap. which is going to track retail traders into taking early sell in the markets. Okay, so this is not actually the main intention of price for the day. Price is basically trying to form the low of the day. In this case, since you've seen this sweep of liquidity, price sweeps the low. Now what are we going to see? Boom, and you see how price reacts to the upside. Okay, after the low was swept, price ranged a little, forming another liquidity area. This was actually a liquidity area, then price sweeps another this liquidity area, then the continuation to the upside. And the most important point I want you to note is that the low of the day was actually formed during the London session. Now this move right here was actually caused by NFP on the 8th of March. You know, NFP was released. This is actually an important news event. So this accumulation right here was to fuel the NFP price movement. So this is actually how you can use this strategy. And someone is going to ask, how can we get an entry? So we actually have different ways you can get an entry. Firstly, after the manipulation, you can go ahead and wait for the first market structure shift on the lower time frame. So once you get that, you can look to get your entry. So let's try to continue playing price forward. I think we have to mark the Asian Open once more. So when is it going to be? It's going to be by 12 a.m. and this is 12 a.m. right here. We're going to mark the London Open. So when is it going to be? 8 a.m. So this is it here, 8 a.m. and it should be labeled red. And this particular one is yesterday's price action, I think so. Yesterday being the 11th day of March. So let's see if we actually had the same price action right there. So let's play price forward till it gets to, now this is the Asian session once more. Now price starts to range during the Asian session, and it's also important to mark the high and the low of the Asian session. So this is actually the high of the Asian session, and where is the low? This right here is the lowest, the lowest point right here. I think maybe at the low right here. So I think this is the high and the low right here, marking the high properly. I think the open had a low in there. So playing price forward, what do we actually see? This was the lowest point, so this is the clear low right here. Okay, the lowest point right now. And during London session, what do we actually see? Price sweeps the liquidity at the high, and when price sweeps the liquidity, what are we seeing price do? Price comes again, sweeps the liquidity once more, now moves to the opposite direction. I hope you can clearly see that. Price rallies away and moves to the opposite direction. So this is a very, very good strategy. Now you have an assignment to make. Okay, I don't hardly have to teach you everything, because once you start depending on the whole teaching, you're not going to try to improve on yourself. What you're going to do right now is you have to go to your price chart and try to backtest. So the three price action I'm showing you is not from 2010, it's not from 2023. This is actually what happened last week. This is Thursday, this is Friday, and this is this new week, which is being yesterday, being the 11th day of March. Okay, so it's not an old price action, it's not from somewhere else. So just like I said, what you're basically going to do is you're going to trade this on GU and Euro pairs, because they are the most traded currency pairs. Now trading it during the London session, which is the most traded session, tells you that this is a high trading opportunity which can give you high returns. Okay, so go to your price chart right now, backtest, and try to find the entry method where I say you have to drop to a lower time frame and look for your entry confirmations. So that's it, and I hope you got value from this. Thanks for watching this one, and see you in the next lesson.